All right. Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
good evening and welcome to the village board meeting of January 26th. It is, Heather made us late, it is 7:02. And let's do the pledge first. Al, would you like to lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nice raspy voice you have there, sir. All right, so we will get in to our agenda. First thing, we would we'll let you come up for public comments. Step up to the podium, state your name and address, and you can keep it to 5 minutes. There's a full house tonight. All right. We have no takers out there. It closes that portion of our meeting and move it into village business. First, I'd be looking for a resolution to approve the minutes from December 22nd of 2022. Does everyone have a chance?
Yeah, it was good.
Check Heather's
I'll
minutes.
make it. No,
I'll second.
Trustee Lauer?
aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right. Now I am looking for a resolution to approve the claims and warrants. I had the great opportunity of doing those this evening, and I did not have any questions.
I did too. No questions this
It's
time.
actually a very small batch.
Yeah. Got away easy this month.
Yeah, it's better when we do it, and then
Yeah.
Al and Judy get the full badge. Well, if no one has any questions, anyone else have any questions? No. I'll ask for a motion to approve the claims and warrants.
I'll make that motion again.
I'll second.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Motion passes.
So next, we're gonna have a discussion on 19 NYCRR Part 1203 Uniform Code and Energy Code. Minimum standards for administration and enforcement.
Don probably can speak about it better, but no more work unless he holds it.
On the side.
But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong, Don, I guess the state changed the rules and regulations affecting the way code enforcement's done. The village has to update the code, the local code, to be able to do the enforcement.
So what were the major changes?
This is my folder for the changes, so there's like 36 pages. It's got to get wound out. It's not much, much of it's like our chapter 30 and chapter 46 in our code now, existing, but there are some changes in it. And we've been talking about it, thinking, looking at a wholesale replacement of that chapter, so everything's kind of the same. But we're still, I know, reviewed it and made comments, and I know Aaron's working on it, I guess. And that's what we're gonna get together and have something before the board, to present to the board to consider.
Good.
Once we get it wired out.
Jim, anything to add to that, Tom?
No, it's basically, every municipality has to abide by and enforce the New York State Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code and the State Energy Conservation Construction Code. So rather than each municipality adopting those codes themselves, the state did it for everybody. But they said, we want to have basically a uniform system for enforcing it across the state. But enforcement isn't done by the state, it's done by the municipalities, code enforcement officers. So they came up with a model local law for that enforcement. And as Jake said, it will replace basically two entire sections of the current village code for this one model enforcement code that the state did. But with the holidays and other things, Jake, Aaron, and myself just haven't had a chance to get together to go through it, because you'll see it when you get it. It's pretty lengthy.
Is there a deadline to it?
To adopt it? No,
Yeah.
there's no deadline to adopt it. But, you know, better sooner than later.
It was this take effect January 1st.
Well,
That was just questions. Jeez, that was a good question.
well, the changes to the actual building and fire codes are in effect, but. Right. But we can still, you know, using the existing code, it's still capable of being enforced, so it's.
So I guess we look forward to seeing this thick packet.
Yeah, so we'll,
Have a coming soon sign.
yeah, the three of us, we'll get together next week and we'll go through it, and then we gotta come up with, you know, a local law to present to this board, and then we go through that, the whole process, you know, having a public hearing. So we'll have at the next meeting, we should be in a position to have a resolution to set a public hearing.
Good. Vicky? Huh?
The live stream's not working for some reason, so
Maybe it's because it's too cold in here.
I think so.
All right, so next, I'm going to be looking for a resolution to approve a letter of credit release number 3 in the amount of $83,538.27 from the letter of credit for Greenbrier Crossing Phase 2 per the requested date 1/23/23, and authorize the village clerk to sign a letter to Five Star Bank to facilitate the release of these funds. And here you can see that letter doing so. Does anyone have any questions, concerns, thoughts? That's in the packet. Well, yeah, it's right there.
I assume Jake and Aaron have reviewed it, and what they say is done in the field, and
Yeah, the vast majority of this was a continuation of their water. Trying to look and see exactly what was asked for this time. Would be helpful if I had the first page. A large majority of this was their water lines that they finished going across 250, they had bore under 250. You'll see if you look at the letter credit request, there's a quantity of this statement, the third column from the right, and that's what they're claiming. It's on the water, and then some more contingency or construction inspection guarantees that they were requesting, and then some big chunk of it was temporary hydro seeding or mulching that's first site stabilization. So yeah, they did. They drove through, checked with the just our observations of what they were doing over there, and know that they completed all this stuff. So
Thanks, Jake. So what do you two fellows like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Trustee Belkey?
Aye.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Don, I think you're up, 1 o'clock.
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Moving onward,
This is great.
Mr. New Guy.
So, as you can see with my report, permits 14 total, copies are attached, certificate of compliances and CFOs, 5 were issued. complaints and violations, you guys are now gonna have, well, as of right now, just the mayor will end up having a copy of it, unless you all want a copy. You guys all want copies of that stuff?
Yes.
Or no? Okay, so I'll get copies of all that for all of you. Legal, we already went over, so that's nice. Miscellaneous stuff, not with the new developer for Donovan Flex Park. We'll be going before the ZBA for site plan and approval. This is one that they previously had sold, gentleman backed out last minute. Now there's a new interested party that's put a new plan together, and still going to be used as flex space. Design's changed. They want to get going right away on it, so that will be that. Working with the new renters for the proposal for the old McDonald's.
Who is that?
I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's going to be a spa salon.
Good, that's great.
I actually just got the plans.
All the time, that thing's been vacant for a long 10 years.
Yeah.
Good news.
It's gonna be a salon?
Spa, salon, nails, all that stuff, yep. I just got the plans today. If anybody wants to look at the plans, let me know. I'll open them up.
Great.
And fully review them. Like I said, I just got them late this afternoon, so.
Jeez.
But they're already starting to work on the building. Kind of. They did the roof. I gave them a stop work
Yes,
order because they didn't
yeah.
have the permits. And they got the permits, so then I allowed them to finish the roofing.
Might as well welcome in the village in the right way, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's a great way to do it.
But I'll actually remove the signs because I just submitted the permits for the rest of the work. So I'll remove the stop work order signs for that. Several new businesses have moved into vacant buildings to include Wolf's Indoor Dog Park, Lumos.
What's
which is-
Lumos?
What's Lumos?
Lumos is a indoor sauna.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's down behind the,
Infrared, it's
down
44
behind
East Main
Frank.
Street. Yep, and that's just to name a few. We've got several. So it's pretty good to get these vacant buildings filled.
Is anybody moving into the old music shop?
Not yet. Not yet. Tessie Plastics now has their CFO for building 214. They're going to be continuing plans for their build out for their clean rooms for the first phase of that. They'll be pulling the permits in the near future. Greenbrier is still going surprisingly strong with the way the economy is. We got the first foundation in for phase 2 already. Almost all of phase 1 is sold. They've only got a couple left there, so they're way ahead of schedule. So
That's great.
It's great. I've issued, I don't remember if I told you before, I have issued court tickets for 235 Donovan. It's no longer just a violation. Well, I mean, it's still a violation, but
Dunning.
Dunning, I'm sorry, yes. But it's now going to be in the courts. First court appearance for them is February 14th.
What if they don't appear?
If they don't appear, then, I mean, it can be handled a few different ways. You can issue a warrant for their arrest or adjourn it. I will foresee issuing a warrant for anybody's arrest, but, yeah, and that'll have to be talked about if they don't show up. So,
What date is that?
February, or, geez, I keep saying February, or January, yeah, February 14th.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
At 9 o'clock in the morning, and you guys feel free to attend.
Have you ever seen that place?
No. Is it your neighbor?
It's close, well, it's, about a block away.
So, Don, I do have to get with you. If you could give me a shout tomorrow, I'd appreciate it. Talk about a few things. Okay, with that. And for some of the other stuff that I'm going to be attaching that was requested of me by the mayor, I don't know if all of you want copies of this as well. All my call logs for my cell phone in-going, outgoing, all my call logs for my internal office phone, in-going,
Why was this
outgoing.
requested?
What's that?
Why is that requested?
I don't know, I'm just fulfilling the request. So,
Well, that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
if you guys want copies of all those, I can supply copies of all those.
No, I don't want a copy of that, no.
I do want to add, it's extremely time consuming.
Well, I will chat with the mayor, because I know he's allowed to make decisions without everybody else, but I'm just curious. It's an interesting decision.
We can talk offline.
Yeah.
That is all I have, unless anybody has anything to me.
No. Word? I did notice on this board contact information, I think if you could kindly remove my work email, I don't think I want, emails going to my work email, that probably
I
would
mean,
be
that's
good.
no, then it-
That's fine, as long as it doesn't go anywhere
No,
else.
no,
It's internal.
it's not. And I can take it off.
No, that's fine, if it's just you guys.
Yeah, it's just us. I
Okay.
was just giving it to you guys.
Jake?
Although,
Well, I agree.
it's subject to FOIL, but you can redact,
Yeah, so let's pull it.
you can redact personal cell phone numbers,
Yeah.
some stuff. You know.
Yes,
If
well,
the public wants a copy of this, they're, yeah.
okay. So I'll pull
No
it.
problem.
I should keep this separate. All right.
Good job, Aaron.
I don't really have much, just a reminder to everybody that it is winter, and it will snow someday, and when it does, we
winter?
appreciate your vehicles not parked. 2 AM to 6 AM, there's no parking on village streets, so I always try to do the reminder. And brush pickups the first full week of February, which I believe will push it, I think that's the week of the 8th, weather dependent, obviously, if it is snowing at that time, we will be able, after the snow. That's certainly a priority, but that's about it. And the guys have been working, doing a lot of building improvements and things that we want to, trying to get time for, and we don't really generally have the time, especially this time of year, so we're taking back in the DPW and in the break room area, doing, organizing the repairs in the garage and things like that.
It's a nice thing when you get a winter with not a lot of snow, you can do all those things. that
Yeah.
you normally- Good.
Yeah, it's not on for my new.
If you don't say that, then it's not count.
Oh,
There's nothing wrong with
So do you have anything for us tonight?
Yes.
You do?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to go over the meeting schedule with you.
Okay.
I thought I would, instead of me just doing it and not asking, make sense I would ask you. So apologize I didn't do that. But these are the meetings for the next year. If you have any questions on why things are changed, I have answers. Or if there's any questions you had, or. And then I also put the expenditure review, but obviously you guys can change whatever you need to on that.
Yes.
So the only difference, same thing every year, Thanksgiving week, we move that to Tuesday. And then 4th of July week, it's carnival, the 7th, 11th, the July 11th meeting, that's carnival week, so we move that to Tuesday. And then last year, the year before, we decided to not have 3 meetings in July, so the workshop, or I'm sorry, the meeting, regular board meeting, as well as the organizational meeting will be July 11th.
Very good. What do you think? Any question?
Well, everything after July 11th is obviously subject to the resolution that's taken after the
That's
organization.
also true.
So just because the clerk puts it on this little spreadsheet doesn't necessarily make it.
So this is a
It's calendar
problem.
year though, so it was already voted on in the one before,
What?
organizational meeting, how it goes. It's kind of
That
confusing.
makes no sense.
Yeah, the holidays are
That
calendar.
makes no sense for one board to be able to, because it could be a different board after a while, because,
Well, the only changes after that are no Thanksgiving week, and so it's just easier for people to plan and,
I mean, just vote against it in July.
I just wrote
so
potential,
you want to come in Thursday of Thanksgiving.
I just wrote potential meeting dates on mine.
There you go. Sure, I'm the
I
right.
tried to do a good thing, Don.
I just wrote
Not
draft on
everyone.
the top and then it's not fine.
That was all I had.
Wow, you guys got nothing to talk to us about. It's amazing.
No, you just
it'd be
voted.
easier if you like work for the town, you wouldn't have these.
Maybe we have a chance to review your call
There's
since
a
we want to
calendar,
section
there's
time.
everything, there's a calendar.
It's better than
But it is, but villages and cities,
fiscal years.
villages and cities that are calendar years, July 1 through June 30.
Yeah.
Our superintendent just sent another item.
I raised my hand. So,
Your time is over.
sorry, just briefly, Marcia and I, at a Zoom Teams meeting, whatever it is, with the gentleman from New York State Power Authority, we've been talking about the possibility of purchasing the streetlight system for a number of years. I had some difficulty getting information from RG in the past. I think the most recent quote, or proposed sales proposal that we got from them was in March of 2021, and we replied back that it included a list of lights that were in the town and none in the village, so I asked for a correction, and we haven't received that correction yet, so I just asked them again for another update. But this gentleman from the Power Authority has, wants to come in at the next meeting, February 9th.
Yes,
Is that definite, or is that a
that's,
potential meeting?
pretty sure that's definite.
Okay. No, he's gonna, if we would try to have him come in and talk about this program and how they work through, they have like maintenance agreements and things. One of the concerns I had is, originally, if you think back, and this was probably 5-6 years ago, I think the plan was we could save $60,000 a year. We pay about $95,000 a year, $96,000 a year for streetlights. We could save about $60,000 a year. There's a lot of unknowns with that savings. Obviously, there's maintenance, so we're passing it. Maintenance is included in what we do now. That gets passed along somewhere. We don't have electricians, so we have a company that does it. And if that company did it and charged us $85,000 a year, then we're not saving anything. So we've been trying to figure all this out. We also, as part of our system, we're somewhat unique. In fact, the discussion with them the other day is that he's like, no, you just buy the arm and the cobra head and that's it. Everything else stays with with the utility. I said, that's not the direction that we got or the understanding that we had, because we have a lot of our villages, the houses are supplied from the rear and the distribution is behind the houses, and the front is streetlight only. And RG said either they have it all or they don't have any of it. So anything that's streetlight only would be, be ours. If there's 2 circuits down London Road, for instance, there's 2 disconnects where their distribution system is, and then we own all the wires, all the poles. So we we're buying 40-year-old poles, 40-year, the old wires. What's the cost? I checked with our insurance company. What's covered if we have an ice storm? That's not normally covered. So, okay, so what would it cost to, protect the village residents and the taxpayers from, God forbid, we get an ice storm? We want to make sure that, if somebody gave us the entire system of the replacement value is $2 million, we necessarily might not want it, so we're trying to get all that information together. He's got some really good insights on it. I've connected him with our insurance company, forwarded him some information, some emails, the recent ones with explanations. So he's gathering all the stuff. He's put together some spreadsheets, just kind of a summary one, and then this is the backup that fed this one. So he did a lot of work in looking at our system, just straightening out some of the assumptions that he had where ours is unique, and then he'll be prepared to talk to the board on the 9th. And then part of that would be looking for a go-ahead, and if it sounds like it's reasonable, looking for a go-ahead to start their engineering aspect of it. If we continue on with it ultimately, and it's a good idea, and it's all in there, if we back out, then there's the engineering cost that would be payable to the Power Authority.
Interesting.
Yeah, New York State. So we've been looking at, there's really good potential for a lot of savings, but there's also potential for a lot of liability that we want to make sure that we're exploring first. And they're have the ability and the expertise and the experience to be able to put all those things together. And like I said, I had quite a frank discussion with them the other day with Marcia, and I said, no, you don't get that. I said, yeah, we do get all the wires and the poles. It's not a normal thing, so we want to make sure that we're presenting something that's going to, RG&E doesn't do a bad job. They're expensive, but our residents pay for the street lights and they deserve that certain level of service. And we want to make sure that we have everything in place to be able to do that, and it's going to cost less than, we don't want to make it cost more in the end. So. And that's what we're putting together, and that's why it's been about about 6 years, which is probably about 4 years too long. But we've been going back and forth on this for quite a while. It took me 1.5 years to get them to admit that they had maps of the system. They said, no, we don't have any maps. I said, yes, you do. You know, I know you do. And then they agreed finally that I could go in and look at them, but I couldn't take any pictures of them. So I was gonna bring some free paper in and draw them out while they sat there and watched me. And then they finally decided just to give me the maps. That'd be helpful in our evaluation of it, so. They're fun to work with. I think it's their cash cow, and they don't really want to get rid of it.
Thank you for that. Look forward to continuing that. Next village board meeting is February 9th. Does anyone else have any other announcements, things they want to talk about? No? All right.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Well, that's right. All right. All in favor? Aye. For coming tonight, single file, single